excited
And
for
all
this
right.
show, actually.
Yeah, I am too, because we've all now been inside the courtroom and we have, all our different perspectives. And that's what's the beauty of bringing, like-minded people together. Let me start with a round, like kind of a quick round. I'll go to Tom first. Tom, tell me about, because I was trying to think about this today, like when you first started covering this, okay,
Mm-hmm.
how much has it differed for you now that you've actually been inside court? How much has changed for you? Do you get a different perspective of it now, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
To go from supporting Karen outside to going inside and supporting Karen, it's a completely different vibe altogether. It's almost like you're more proud to sit behind her in court to say, I support this lady. She's factually innocent, and all you people are a bunch of jerks. You know, whereas outside, I'm just another one of them people. I just happen to have the camera, but I'm just another one of the people walking around. So,
Yeah. Jess, I'm going to ask the same question. How about you? I know you've been out with the supporters. You've done a lot of reporting on Aiden Carney, Turtle Boy. Now you're kind of picking up the Karen Reed trial. How much has this differed for you? I get, watching the lives, reading the media, reporting yourself, but now actually being in the court.
I mean, first of all, I feel very lucky every day that I get to be in the courtroom. This is a national, international case, and it's much bigger than what it seems when you're in that very, very small courtroom. So, number one, I'm eternally grateful and thankful that I have readers and followers that have given interest to the story. So that allows me the opportunity to go in and report. I'm very excited. There are other people that I can talk to that have been in there. It's one of the reasons why I was excited that Aiden was in there, because then we could kind of talk and compare.
Yeah.
And now that there's another layer of people who are reporting on this and sharing info like you guys, I'm excited to be able to kind of talk that out and get your perspective. It's a lonely place sometimes because we're very quiet. We can't talk. We can't talk to each other. We're just kind of in there and on our computers. So I'm interested to hear what you guys say. But listen, I think for any of us to be in the courtroom, whether it's an invited guest or as a reporter, we're very, very lucky to witness this live. And we get a perspective that you can't get through a TV screen or an audio. We get to see, we get to watch, we get to feel the feeling in that room. And I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about after you've been there. So it's very special that we're able to be there.
No, yeah, I completely agree. It is funny because I talked to my dad today, and I know my dad is watching. Hi, Dad. How are you? I was talking to him today about it. And he goes, well, what did you think? How was it? And he said, will you listen to the testimony? I'll be honest with you. When you're in there for the first time, and maybe that settles a little bit once you're in there after, if you have the ability to do that. I was so just taken in from everything, just trying to really visually take everything in, the environment, and what does the jury look like? What do the attorneys look like? How about the people that are watching? Now I'm watching the reporters and seeing how they're reacting. So it's very different, I think, because I was just trying to take it all in. So I might have missed some testimony, but I think points that jumped out at me. I'm a visual guy, clearly. So when they were up on the screen, which is in a horrible position, I think it's great.
Yep.
The media, I'm going to tell you, that screen that you're seeing on TV, media is not seeing that.
Right.
Nope.
I even saw at points the O'Keefe family, Paul and Aaron. I mean, Paul, I think you've seen on chin. He's literally
His head's all bent over side.
look. It would be nice if they had another TV, maybe to the side of where, but I think just because that courtroom's so small, it's almost impossible to do that.
Yeah.
But I think I was more intrigued by that, seeing the evidence that was on the screen, watching the videos, and of course, when the dynamic between Lally and Jackson. I mean, Lally gets up, kind of slumbers everybody to sleep. You look down at both tables. It's Lally's very disorganized. Literally walks in today to the courtroom like this with a stack
Every day.
Yep.
Every day
like,
is like that.
He looks like like when a kid is going to school, like an 8th grader, well, maybe like a 5th grader, and their book bag blows open, and it's like the papers fall out and they grab
Just
him and
a
they try to
mess
walk into
everywhere.
class. That's
Yeah.
what it looks like. And then you look at Karen Reed's team, and everything is clean and concise and highlighted and stapled, and it's just like perfection.
Organized.
Yep.
It's
Very
organized.
organized.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then just to see Alan Jackson jump up, and I'm sorry if I'm stealing anybody's thunder here, but to just see Alan Jackson stand up, and when he gets up to that podium, the whole courtroom just lights up, and they just attention right on him. He just grabs the attention of everybody. So that was my
So I
experience.
love hearing you say that and that you can feel that. I can tell you that for the people who aren't really behind Karen, I think they downplay the intensity of Karen's defense team. And when you're in that courtroom, you can see it, you can feel it. And I'm sure you noticed Lally's, even his shoulders are kind of slumped and he leans on the podium. And, you know, Jackson is constantly with his hands and moving. And how can you not, as a human, whether you're a juror or a witness in the
Right.
room or what have you, how can you not be drawn to that? I wanted to ask you both, do you mind if I ask you a question? We're going to flip the script, Ryan. I'm going to ask you questions. So let me ask first this question to both of you. Do you mind if I do this? This is so, I'm hijacking
Yes,
your
of
show. It's terrible.
course. No. Go
All
ahead.
right. So
That's
what do
why
you
we're
think
here.
about how close both families are sitting and how they're kind of facing each other? So give me your thoughts on that, because in the other courtroom, like I've described, they would have been separated. They wouldn't have seen each other. Did you recognize how close that is, or do you think it's manageable? Is it intimate? What do you think about that space?
Tom, I'll let you answer because I've done a lot of talking first. So go ahead, Tom.
I think it's really close. It unusual that it's actually that close. However, they made a courtroom out of a corner room. That courtroom is not laid out
Yeah.
for the prosecution or for the defense or for the jury or for the families. It's I think it was just, let's just throw one there, you know? Like I can't see them holding court in that courtroom. It's just small, and not that it's small. The layout it's not a legal layout where the families are separated, where the prosecution, the defense, and no, it's not like that in any way. It's all and you notice Lally, he doesn't walk behind the defense table to get to the podium.
No.
Never.
Not.
Never.
Never.
And when he stands at the podium, he's got 2 piles of papers, and they're about this thick each, and he just goes through them all day. That the judge got to say, listen, you got to go up there with 1 legal pad, not 30.
I think somebody needs to start a Lally's paper pile Twitter account. That would be great.
God,
Since there's one for everything else, we need one for those.
Yeah.
Brian, what's your thought on the setup of the room and how the families are so close?
Yeah. So again, I think I have to agree with Tom. I think the caliber of this case deserves the respect of a larger courtroom. I think that the public there should be more people that are allowed in to see this trial, because this is a very historic trial. And I think at the end of this, in my opinion, when Karen Reed is 100% exonerated of all these charges and goes free of a not guilty exoneration, there should be more people to witness this, because this is going to change a lot, I think, how the justice system works. And it deserves that. It deserves the people to be there and see this. The thing that I found very interesting, and it was almost uncomfortable on my part too, because listen, let's be honest here. And I don't like to say the other side, because I try to give a little bit of respect there, but the other side, they're looking at me. They know who I am. I was very close. I mean, almost a person's width from one of the gentlemen that sit on the O'Keefe side. And I literally at times could feel him staring at me. And it was, and it's interesting, it's intimidating a little bit, but, I was just making sure that I was very respectful. You're very close, and you're close to the media too. The media is kind of up behind the O'Keefe's family. But you can see them in eye shot. There was times when I looked over at Aiden and, just kind of see what he was doing, Ted Daniel. I think it was difficult for me sitting because I was in the corner seat, just where the aisle was to go out. So it was hard for me to see some of the jurors. So I had to kind of keep leaning. And that was what I really wanted to focus on throughout the day, too, and just see how their reactions were. So, again, not a suitable courtroom for this case. I feel, again, it deserves a larger courtroom. It should be in a larger courtroom. But, and then your audio visual issues, too, where the screen is so far back and the O'Keefe family has to bend around to look, where it should be more in a suitable place for everybody to see. Sorry, I kind of rambled a little bit.
No, good points. I agree with all of that, actually.
Yeah.
And if you notice, only the first two people on the other side, on the O'Keefe side, can see the screen. The back
Yeah.
row is not seeing anything.
Yeah.
And
Right.
like what do? They can't they
Mhm.
can't get up and walk around and
Right.
so that's not
Yeah.
really fair to them.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you
Really
said that,
not.
Tom, because I was feeling that too. It's not really fair to them as well either. And I try to be respectful, to both sides. This is
Right.
hard on everybody, but I am 100%, 1000% there to support Karen in every way. So that will not change.